พี่ครับคุณสาคุณสา
คนที่ฉันรักคือไออุ่น
Welcome to Wouldn't Be a Drama, a Geo Drama podcast. I am your broken host, Jazz, and I am joined by my maybe not as equally as broken, but
broken and sick
broken and sick co-host, Linda. Linda, how are you?
Well, I'm definitely not as broken as you are. I was just telling Jazz before we started recording that I think it's because I'm not feeling well, so for some reason I didn't cry this episode. Surprisingly, I didn't cry, especially I was telling her the bridge scene when they were on the bridge. But I woke up this morning and I Jazz's voice message, she sounded hurt, and I was like, oh God, I don't care how I'm feeling right now. I need to at least watch it. Like, I need to figure out what is going on. So I literally slept probably most of the day, and then I texted Jazz. I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump in the shower and see how I feel, and let's just go. And here we are now. So
Yeah, I was not happy this morning. I was happy for a little bit, and then Pluto broke me, you guys. I lasted 10 episodes of this series without crying once, and this is the episode that broke me. I cried my eyes out for this episode.
Was it that scene, the one that
I might cry again during this recording? Who knows?
Okay.
Because because I have the videos up on my second screen just so I could remind myself of what happened because my memory sucks. So if you see me looking off to the side, that's why, because I'm rewatching the episode. So I'm probably gonna cry again. So yeah.
Who knows? I might cry too. I actually might cry. I actually did not cry when I was recording, but I think maybe that now that we're talking about it, maybe I'll get really passionate because I have a lot of things I need to say. So should we go right into it?
But before we get started, I do want to share something with everyone. I bought the novel.
Woo!
So I am now the proud owner of Pluto, the novel.
That's
I can't
awesome.
read it, but I do own it. But I did find the translation online, so I will be reading it after the series is over.
Oh, will you? I'm definitely not.
I think I will. I mean, I might as well. I found the translation. I went through all the trouble finding the translation. I might as well read it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I might end up reading it. I will most likely end up reading it. And then after I'm done, I can share my thoughts and let you know what happened in the novel. Because if is more of a problem in the novel than she was this episode,
Yeah, I don't want to know, so I'm not going to.
I don't know how I can handle that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good.
I was gonna say, yeah. Om. I have some words with Om.
Yeah, we definitely do. But should we start off? I know you were saying that somebody wanted in the comments, the YouTube comments, they wanted us to talk about the
so
threesome that didn't happen.
Yeah, on our last episode, we had a YouTube comment. Someone that wanted our thoughts on what we thought was going to happen with Pim, Pang, and Jan. So before this episode, my theory was that they were going to be a throuple. That was my theory. I thought they were going to be a throuple. I was like, oh, okay, the first throuple in a Thai series, cool. All right, I'm with it. Either that or, one of them was just going to be alone. That was my theory. Like, I thought, because I remember that interview that the girls did, and not Pim, oh my God, Kapuk went off and was like, yeah, we have a 3-way kiss in the series or whatever. All three of us kissed each other, and I was like, wait, what? So all three of y'all end up together? Maybe, possibly. But yeah, what was your thoughts before this episode?
Well, I definitely didn't think that there was going to be a 3-way. I did not think that there was going to be a threesome or anything like that of that matter. I didn't think it was going to be a throuple. I really, as much as I wanted Jan and Pim together, I had a feeling that Pang and Jan were going to end up together. Only because I feel like even though Jan likes Pim to that extent, I think she also kind of low key has a soft spot for Pang.
Well, Pang is more open about her feelings.
That's also that's
Pim
the thing.
Yeah.
But also respect, because Pim obviously still has feelings for Pang, but she doesn't want to lead Jan on, you know. So in that scene we saw, she told her. So that definitely respect for that, because I know a lot of. I feel like usually in the real world, maybe, you know, they say like to get over somebody you have to get under somebody else. I feel like that is more realistic. So so respect for that. But yeah, I clearly that we'll talk about it later. The kisses, we'll talk about that. But let's get into the beginning of episode 11.
All right, so
go ahead, Jazz, start us off.
Yeah. So
well, before we do start, I do want to say that Jazz is probably going to do most of the talking, and then I'll probably just chime in. I'm not feeling too well, so yeah, you guys definitely give it up for Jazz, for she'll be leading most of the talk today. So yeah.
All right. Thanks, Linda. So yeah, so we start off the episode with a flashback to baby Om and baby Un. And they're playing with paper airplanes, and Un flew it, and it went pretty far, and so Om was really impressed with her big sister. And we get a little monologue from Om saying that she wanted to be like her sister, but at the same time she didn't, because she mostly just wanted to be the little sister that her sister loved. And it kind of sets it up for the rest of this episode, I think.
Sure does.
Yeah, because it shows what kind of person Om wants to be, I think. And it kind of shows like the reality of everything that we thought we knew, but we apparently did not know.
We didn't. Yeah, I think she's very codependent.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah, because in the scene, we see Un go outside to play, and Om is just sitting at the kitchen table, and Grandma comes. She's like, "You don't want to go play with your sister?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to get sick and go back to the hospital." And so she stops herself from enjoying things because she doesn't want to be a burden, I guess. And so Grandma gives her that book that we saw in a previous episode, and says, "Oh, well, you can read instead." And then we know what happens after that. Un burns it because she gets jealous. Yep. And then we get a more recent flashback with Om and May. And Om is reading a book, or looking at a book, and May comes in. She's like, "Oh, so you like reading too?" And she's like, "Yeah, I used to." She's like, "My sister used to reading too, and because she liked it, I liked it." And then she just stopped. And so I stopped. And May's like, "You know, you never talk about your big sister." She's like, "When do I get to meet her?" And Om is like, "Nah." She's like, "I is way too popular." She's like, "What happens if you meet her and you like her more than me?" And I was just like,
crazy.
I was like, "Yeah, about that."
Yeah.
And May is just like, "You're being this adorable. Like, how could anyone not like you?" And
well, that definitely came to bite her in the butt. So.
Yeah, but yeah, we get a little bit of and how her mind works, because then we see her sitting in a cab watching May and Un hug from the end of last episode, and she gets in her feels,
crying.
Yeah,
she does
crying. So yeah, we get a little bit of Om and how her mind works. Like, she just wants to be loved, and she feels like she's not.
Which is crazy, because it certainly becomes like some type of, like, I don't know if obsession is like the correct word, but it becomes some type of something, because clearly it like has gotten to her to the point where now we are where we are now, because like if Om is not happy, nobody's happy. If Om doesn't get what she wants, nobody gets what they want. Right?
Everything is centered on Om.
Literally. So essentially everything, like you said, is centered around her, and everything will lead up to what we'll be talking about. But yeah, honestly, you know, watching episode 11, part 1 and 2, I felt really bad for her, but then 3 and 4, yeah, no. Definitely did not feel bad for her. Because I was kind of like, oh, you know what? She looks up to her big sister. She lost her husband. So then I was like, maybe she does have good intentions, but she's just kind of saying it the wrong way. Like how you and I, we've been talking about this whole time, that it seems like she does have good intentions, but then like it just comes off the wrong way. But then you realize like it's really not, because she's kind of like, I don't know if evil's the...
She's alone.
I don't know.
In some ways, she is alone, but she's not, and that makes her. I don't know.
It makes her like,
she needs therapy.
Yeah, she's kind of like blinded by like what she's kind of blinded by, like, she obviously wants people to, because she's like, she's alone, like you said, she feels alone and nobody loves her, but essentially it's like people do love her, right?
Yeah.
But
she can't see it.
I don't know. She can't see it.
Yeah, because I've been there. Because I've before I started going to therapy, I always had that mindset. No one loves me. Like, why would anybody love me? No one loves me. Like, I could not be here tomorrow and no one would care. And to some extent, I still kind of feel that way. Sometimes it depends on my mental state that day. But I've learned that people do actually love me. I just had to open my eyes to see it and accept it. And that's what Om needs to do. She needs to open her eyes. I know she's grieving and she's going through a lot, but she needs to, excuse me, she needs to really take the time to process and heal and see that there are people who love her. Her grandma loves her. Her sister loves her. Jan loves her. There are people in her life that do care about her.
Mm-hmm.
And she just needs to take some time for herself, gather her thoughts, and just heal. She really just needs to heal. She's been through so much in such a short time. She needs to, and she's got all this information thrown at her at once by Jan because of what she wanted. And so yeah, she just needs to. She needs to just heal.
Well, now her sister and May are paying for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So back to the episode.
Yep.
We get back to the present. And Owen and May are talking, and May gives Owen Batman's case, and she's talking to her about that, and she's like, I took Batman's case because I wanted to protect Owen. Like, I wanted my dad to leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're having a heart-to-heart on the couch, and May's like, Owen found out that you were my first love. She didn't take it very well. She started distancing herself from me. And then I got attacked. And that's when Om told me, like, after I became blind, that's when Om told me that you were my first love.
Yeah, you.
And I didn't believe her. Like, I told her if she wanted to break up with me, just break up with me. You don't have to lie to me just because I'm blind now. But yeah, she said that she had Dr. Tone take her to see Un. And so we get like a little flashback of Un playing with Grandma at the shop.
It's adorable.
It's adorable, so cute. And we see we see May and Tone sitting across the street in the car watching. And May is like, her voice sounds very familiar, like very similar. And Tone's like, it's not just her voice, they look exactly alike. And it's like he's shocked he's never seen identical twins before. And so May is like, okay, but what about her personality? Like, what's she like? Like, what does she look like? And Tone's like, casual, like she's wearing jeans and a t-shirt, so,
like more relaxed.
Yeah, more relaxed.
Yeah.
And May is like, are you sure?
Huh.
Like, this is the person? Like, are you telling me the truth, Om? And it's like, yeah, I am great. But so we see, I think May's going into work next, and she's about to walk up the stairs, and Om comes and sees her, and Om's like, all right, cool, you switch back to being an attorney, May, very, very quickly. And May's like, nah, like, nothing's the same, nothing's gonna be the same. And Om is kind of a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. she kind of a bitch. She's like, yeah, you're blind now. Who's gonna want you? Like, you really think Ayun's gonna want you?
Yeah, is she gonna want a blind attorney, or is she going to want her only sibling? And I was like,
damn.
bitch.
You are a bitch. Okay. So May's like, well, you helped me realize what kind of person Ayun is, and I think she would want me. And she would, because she did want her. And in the end, she does. And she's like, Ayun told me to fight and to protect myself. Meanwhile, you just left me. So, are we broken up now? Basically, May's like, are we done now? Can we be done? And it's just like, it doesn't take two people to break up. May, if you think that y'all are broken up, then y'all are broken up.
That's what I'm saying.
In my opinion.
No. You're right, because I was like, why are you waiting for her to break up with you? May, if you want to break up with her, break up with her. Just say, like, I'm breaking up with you. Bye. I mean, obviously easier said than done, but, like,
yeah,
breaking up doesn't... You have the right to break up with somebody, you know, and if they say no, well, that's on them. Like,
that sounds
you
like
know,
a personal problem. Yeah, that's not my problem.
It sounds like
done.
Exactly, it's a personal problem. Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe things are different in Thailand. I don't know. Maybe it does take two there. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah. So May's like, "Are we done now?" And is like, "If us being broken up means that you're gonna go back to I, then no, we're not done." And she refuses to break up with this girl because she doesn't want her with I. Yeah.
Yeah, and meanwhile, then like we get, and then the next scene is it what, Paul and May?
Yeah. We see
yeah,
Paul,
and so he basically knows.
He knew from the beginning. Everyone knew.
Everybody knew, but Ayun.
But I the only person that did not know anything.
Yeah, she was literally the one that was blind.
Literally, yeah, she's the one that's blind. That's the ironic part about this show. So yeah, May is telling. Oh my god, May is telling Un that she found out that Un was dating Paul.
Yep.
And we get another flashback to Paul talking to May.
Yeah.
And Paul's like, she still loves you. And I just want to know, like, what's up? And so May's like, no, she doesn't love me. She's like, I did something to hurt her. She's just punishing me by refusing to break up with me.
And I have something to say about this.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get closer to the wedding, because there's something he said that I didn't really like. But we'll talk about it when we get to that scene. But go on.
Okay. But yeah, he's like, I love her so much that she'll forgive you because of the love I have for her. And it's like, so I wish it worked that way. So
yeah, no, sir. I don't know what type of power you think you hold with but nobody holds any power with but The heck.
So yeah, Paul knew everything. Paul knew everything. So then we see May and Tom in the car. I don't know where they were, what they were doing, but they're in the car. And May asked Tom, like, hey, can I have your Wi-Fi real quick so I can check my messages because I lost my SIM card. And so he gives her his Wi-Fi. He goes to go get something that he forgot. And May's checking her messages. And she sees that she has a message from saying to call her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
On her. This is the day of the wedding.
The day of the wedding. Yeah, this will be on us the night of the wedding. And so May calls. She doesn't answer. So she calls Paul.
Yep.
And then we hear May and in the background saying, why does May have your phone number? And then we hear on the phone saying, like, I asked to come break up with you for me, basically. And it's like, if she goes, cool. Ball's in your court, I guess. If she doesn't, whoever you end up with in the future, I don't want any part of it. So.
But, boy, she definitely wanted a part of everything, because that was not the case. She definitely... No,
So May's excited. Tone gets back in the car, and May's like, she finally set me free. I am finally single again.
We thought.
So we thought. Yeah, she was so happy. But yeah, and then we get May back at the present with Un. And she's like, that day you came to see me, it was like the answer to my prayers, basically, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
And she's like, I couldn't see the look that I couldn't see the way that you looked at me. Like I couldn't tell if you were looking at me with pity or disdain. And the entire time she was talking like this, like she was looking at you with shock. She didn't know that you were a woman, first off, let alone an attractive woman.
Right.
So she was shocked. There was neither of those feelings on her face when she first saw you. That was pure shock and love in her eyes. She fell in love with you at first sight. Oh my god.
It was.
It really was love at first sight for Un. But yeah, so she's like, yeah, I couldn't see anything. So the only thing I had left to give or to go off of was kissing you.
Yeah.
And
no wonder.
It worked because Un kissed back. So I mean, hey, if you kiss someone and they kiss you back, that's a pretty good sign. It's a pretty good sign. What?
I guess so.
Do you want to kiss someone and just have them stand there? Or do you want them to kiss you back? Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, so they're talking about that, and May is telling On, like, because of you, I got more confidence. And, like, you made me feel important. You made me feel safe and protected. You made me feel loved. And Owen is like, you made me feel very capable. Like, yeah, like, you gave me the courage to write my novel. And it's just like, yeah, y'all help each other. You guys complement each other very well.
They really do.
Very, very well. Like, they just fit. They're like a puzzle piece. They're like a puzzle. They fit together perfectly. And is like, no matter how many failures I had or how hard my life got, like, you were always there for me. It's like, that's what a partnership should be. That's what a partnership should be. But, so, May is asking May is telling like, the day that she finally saw things clearly, was gone. I think that was the night that she left and took the slippers.
Yeah.
Like, by the time I finally saw things clearly, you were gone. And, we pretty much saying that we gave everything to which is true. Everything they gave to
and they can still continue to do so.
And they still continue to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah, On is talking about how guilty she was, and May was like, both of us were responsible for what happened. Like, it's in the past. Like, can we just leave the past in the past now, basically?
Yeah, so we thought.
And so May asked On, like, can you promise me that we will love each other without hurting each other? And On says she promises.
Well,
remember that. Remember that.
Right.
Un promised not to hurt May anymore.
Yeah, so we thought, and then the next scene we get I walking upstairs, and who is there sitting there waiting for her? Her sister And basically, and is basically like, hey, like, is there anything going on between you and May? Like, anything you want to tell me? And was like, she's been busy these days. Like, I mean, clearly there's nothing going
charity.
on. Yeah, she's working on charity. She's just been busy. And then does not believe it. Let's be honest. Like, she does not believe what Owen has to say. But then we get to the next scene. It's May and Owen sitting or laying in bed, and May is asking her how is she going to handle telling her sister. And basically she says, let's wait till she regain her memories, and then we can tell her. Which I'm just kind of like,
I was like, what if she doesn't? Like, what if she never remembers? Like,
right, that, or what if she already knows? You guys are just gonna continue to lie to her. Like, that's a lot worse than not telling her. Yeah, and so
because essentially May's gonna have to date both sisters.
Basically.
Until remembers that y'all ain't dating no more.
Yeah.
So Owen's like, we can't tell her yet. Like,
yeah. And then the thing that kind of tugged on Owen's heartstrings was when Owen was basically like, in the between life and death. Like, the one thing I wanted to tell you was that didn't able to was that I never hated you. And I'm like, those words coming from her little sister. She's set in the trap. But yeah, she basically was telling her like, you know, I'm not good at anything. Well, was it Oam told Oam that, you know, I know you dropped out of school, so you can help me. But I just want to go back to being like your sister.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what Oam says to, and Oam is like, you've always been my sister. You know, you've like nothing has ever changed. And I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So we thought.
Yeah. That was that was what I think that's what I texted you. And I was like, because I'm like, well, Linda's an older sister. Let me ask her a question. I was like, how much?
Yeah.
So I was like, how much do you love your brother?
Yeah, she texted me that. And I was like, what the heck? Why did she ask me that? But we're going to talk about that when we get to that scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
so next we
yep.
see we have Jan taking Ohm back to Paul's place. And Ohm is like, what's this place? And Jan's like, you said you wanted to know everything. Everything is here. Like, this is where you need to be if you want to know everything. And so Ohm is looking around, and she sees the pictures on the wall of her and Paul from the wedding.
And then she comes to a realization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Jan tells her, like, someone did love you.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And we see the picture when they got engaged.
And then this picture that they got engaged, it's gonna basically, we'll get into it when we get to that scene. It's pretty important. Yeah. But then now the next scene is actually present time. May, I just must say, May looks really good.
She does.
Wow.
She does.
But we basically have
when doesn't May look good? Let's be honest.
That's true.
Let's be honest with ourselves. When does May not look good? When she's crying, she looks good. When she's pissed off, she looks good. When she's extremely happy, she looks good.
She looks
when
good.
She's being flirty, she looks good.
I just gotta think.
Hell, even when she's sleeping, she looks good. When doesn't she look good?
Literally, like film's face card never declines. It literally never declines. But so we have the crew, the motorpunk crew at Ben's mom's memorial, and they brought May here. And it's so sweet and nice because you know, she's there to ask for forgiveness from Ben's mom, and Ben was like, you know, my mom, she loved Owen, and she basically thought of Owen as her own, and yeah, of course, you know, if Owen loved you, then that means that, like, my mom obviously
loved you too. Yeah.
Yes, and you know, all is forgiven, which is so adorable. And then we have the scene here, which is actually really heartwarming, I must say. It's with Kosal and May, and Kosal is basically like, you know, when should I turn myself in? And
May's like,
May,
when did you do that before?
I know, right? And he's like, well, you know, somebody need to take care of Ben, and so May was like, well, if you turn yourself in, then that means I have to go visit you in jail, and well, we don't want that. So
we ain't doing that. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So how
she's
about,
like, there's no way
she's
gonna let Ayun go to prison.
No, absolutely not. So she decides. Right. So then she's basically like, yep. So then basically she's like, well, I'm gonna open. She said she's gonna open a fundraiser. Is that what she said? She's gonna open a.
Yeah, she's gonna open up like a. I won't say like a shelter, but like an organization to like help disabled people.
Yeah, and she basically was like,
she's gonna start a foundation.
Yeah. So she's like, why don't you come and, you know, work for me? And I was like,
yeah. She's like, if you can help take away somebody's sight, then you can help rebuild people and help them out.
I was like, that is freaking adorable, first of all.
And Kosal, he accepts. Like, at first I thought he wasn't going to, because like the look on his face, but then I realized, oh, that's just his face. But yeah, he accepts it and everything, and
which is really nice though. All is good because like essentially some people really do have the potential, you know. They just need to be given that chance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I love that May took a shot on him, regardless of what happened. But yeah, so now we have them at the Bangkok Planetarium.
This was one of my favorite scenes of the whole episode. This was one of my favorites.
Jess?
So we see Ayun and May. They're right back in the same spot where Ayun saved her from the bullies. And Una's looking around and she's like, this kind of feels familiar. And May's behind us. She's like, yeah, I got jumped here when I was here for a science competition, and I got extorted for some money. And she's like, do you remember that? And Una's like, I remember fighting someone. And I remember I was wearing Ohm's uniform, and Mint caught the name of it and bullied her afterwards. And May's like, that's it? She's like, yeah, pretty much. She's like, oh my god, I can't believe you. And so Una's like, well, how about we just start over then? And so she holds out her hand and she's like, my name is Ayun Inksamag. And May's like, May look, the look that May gave, I got shy. She's like, I'm May.
Metavi.
And the way she says her name, I was just like, you were so hot.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. Okay, I had to replay it.
You know how I feel about film.
I do. I literally had to replay that. I was like, there's just something about film saying meant to be.
The way she said it.
It really is. Like,
because she did the little eyebrow twitch too, and it was just like, I'm weak. I'm weak.
She's a hot girl. She really is a hot girl.
I can't help it. So yeah, so now they're inside the planetarium. And I was like, oh, May can finally see it now.
Yay.
And so Una's like, things are so much different between now and then. And May's like, no, not to me. Like, to me, they're pretty similar. And so they're talking. And May's like, it warms my heart every time. And Una's like, you know, my novel's going to get published soon. And I have a mock-up copy of the book. And May's like, oh yeah, I haven't given you your reward yet. And then it cuts. And do you want to talk about what it cuts to, or?
You can.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So it cuts to them making out in May's room. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
It is. We get top May, good. Basically.
We do get top May. Not right away though, but
no.
So it feels like I is taking charge a lot during this scene.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so they're going at it. We do get top May.
We do.
It is May's. It's May's turn. You know. So.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So they're doing that again. Very beautifully shot. Like we don't
very
We
beautifully
don't
shot.
see a lot, but we see enough. There was a very long clip of. I think it was. Owen's belly button. And I was like, yep, that's a belly button. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, it was very beautifully shot. They did a really great job. Like I said, not too much, not too little. It didn't feel like I was in.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, we get that scene, top May, 10 out of 10. She did a good job. And then it cuts to, I think, the morning after?
Yeah, so then we have the scene.
Yeah, and May wakes up and she's by herself, and I'm just like, damn it, Un, can't you just stay the night for a full damn morning and cuddle or do something? Why do you always have to be gone? And so May wakes up, she finds a note from Un saying, hey, I'm going out to do my deliveries.
Yep.
Here's a copy of my book.
And then
but
we get a scene with the...
I did skip a scene, yeah. So.
Yeah, it was the...
But this is where this is where we need to speak. So, Linda, you said you had thoughts.
Yeah, well,
if you can, what are your
first of all, I just want to say that I've been saying this since day one. Jan and Peng, if you guys don't want Pim, I will more than gladly take Pim. Okay, here's the thing. You know.
Do you want Pim or do you want Kapuk?
Well, clearly Kapuk. But here's the thing. You know, when I first saw them having that conversation, when the scene came on the screen, I was like, okay, we're having a rational adult conversation here where basically, at first I thought it was going to be them basically telling Pim the situation about and On. But it seemed like, no, I guess they were kind of talking about their feelings. And so Pim asked Peng, like, so how long have you liked her for, right? And so, basically, Peg's like, well, probably like a little bit after you and I broke up. And okay, fair, whatever. You can break up with somebody, you can like somebody else. Totally fair. But you did not. She proceeds to kiss Pim and basically was like, yeah, this is how I feel about you. And then I'm kind of like, I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, wait, why did she do that? Is she like having second thoughts? No, she freaking kisses Jan afterwards, and the kiss was obviously with a lot more feeling, emotions. And then so I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. But like, let's be honest, that was rude AF. And then you have Pim sitting, she has to sit down. She's like, is this really happening right now?
Well, because Jan kissed Pim too, and Pim like pushed her away.
Yeah, so
it was
she
like
didn't.
The look on Pim's face was like not really disgust, but just like
no, but she's a pure shock. She was shocked.
Yeah,
and I guess essentially, if you liked somebody, you wouldn't push them away. So then she obviously, because when Pim and Pang kissed, Pim didn't push Pang, but she pushed Jan, right? Yeah. So essentially, that's when Jan was like, oh yeah, she does not like me. She's not interested. And then obviously we have the kiss with Pang and Jan, and it seemed like they were girlfriends at that point.
Well, my little heart kind of soared a little bit because I wanted like some sort of interaction between Sizey and Eun since 23.5. I don't know why, because they didn't have a scene together in 23.5, but I just thought that they would look really cute together. And now I finally got it. I finally got something. So, yeah, I was. We're just getting.
We're just getting all of We're just getting leftovers, basically.
Yeah.
So Jazz and I were talking about this because we love Eun and we love Sizey, we love Gabuk, and we were saying that like we want them in like a Geo series where they're like the lead, and then also with Ploy, as well, because like that would be crazy. But we're just getting their freaking crumbs at this point. But
just so essentially, your best friend just walked in. Your number one fan just walked in.
Hi, number one fan.
Little Luna.
So, yeah, what did you think about that scene?
I don't. Man, it was a little hard, but I felt bad for Pim. I really did, because I think this is when she's finally realizing, I'm gonna be alone in all this. Like they have each other. I need to not do this. But I think it was kind of warranted. I don't know if she needed to have both of them there at the same time to talk, but I mean, hey, that's what she wanted. So she got what she wanted, I guess. She got answers. It might not be the answer that she wanted, but she got answers. Nope. And it definitely wasn't the answer that, and Jan got the answer that she needed. She knows that Pim does not have feelings for her like that.
Yeah. So
now she can move on too. Both of them can move on now.
There you go. Yeah, as much as that was kind of strange, they can both move on now.
In some ways, the parallel between Pang and there's like a parallel there, because with those three, everything's centered around Pang, kind of. And then for Un and
May, it's centered around
it's about Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
There's a parallel between those the two groups.
True.
Yeah.
There is.
So we get a cut to, when May wakes up and she sees the book and everything. And then she gets a text message from saying, I'm going to come get you. Yep. And it's just like, when this scene happened, I was just like, leave the girl alone. She just wants to have a lazy day in bed reading a novel.
Right.
Like, I'd be so mad if it was like a weekend or something and I had no plans but to read. And as soon as I get ready to do that, I get a text message saying, hey, I'm going to come get you. We're going out. I was like, no, we're not. No, we're not. I had plans. But yeah, May.
Yeah, if I got that text message.
May is
first of all,
a full sentence. Just say no.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Because if I wanted to lay around and not do anything, somebody texts me, I'm like, listen, no. Go do it by yourself. No. Sorry.
I'm gonna text you. Hey, Linda, we're recording. Come on. Like, no, go do it yourself. I can't. No. We're partner. Gotta get on the computer. Let's go.
Nope.
But yeah, so now we see the scene where May is driving. Sorry, is driving May. And has been crying.
Vibes.
You can already tell. The vibes
Yeah,
are off.
And low key, like, it kind of gave me, like, serial killer vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I felt the same way.
I was like, this is kind of scary. Like, it just took a turn, like, left field.
Yeah, because May is trying to, like, she's still trying to be sneaky, I guess, because she's like, oh, you're back to driving. And almost like, didn't I always come pick you up before? And May's like, yeah, sure. And so Om's like, stop lying to me. Like, I already know. I know what's going on. Like, just stop. Yep. And so May is kind of scared, so she secretly calls Un and lets her hear the conversation. And,
and then she like, now that she has her location, or she's following her.
She's following them. Her location. Because she hears May say, where are you taking me? And is like, somewhere where only us can be together. Somewhere where only we can be together. Yeah. And I was just like, scary. I was like, are you gonna kill her? That's literally what my thought was. That's literally what my thought was. Like, is this gonna be a pew pew situation? What's going on?
Yeah. I thought the same thing too. I'm not gonna lie. I really thought the same thing too.
I watched too many documentaries.
Nah, it was a fair ruined it. Fair.
That too. Fair to ruin it. That too.
Yeah.
So the next scene we get, oh my god. This is when I broke. This whole part here is kind of where I broke. So stops the car at a location, and May gets out and starts running, and runs after her, and she falls. And so May asks, like, are you alright? And like, you're not gonna run anymore? And May's like, I just want to know what the hell's going on. Like, why are you doing this? She's like, I don't know why you took me here. Why am I here? And she tells like, I is coming. Like, she's almost here. I was like, why'd you do that? Never let them know your next move. Just keep running. No. But, so, oh my god, kind of has, like, a meltdown. She's like, I love you very much. And she's like, what's that like? And May's like, what do you want? And she doesn't answer the question. I just kind of looks over at the river, and she's like, the river looks different. And, like, it seems it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. It's scary. Just like how you're being right now. Scary and beautiful at the same time, ma'am. What are you doing? I mean, every time I see, oh my god. Every time I see Namtan play both roles, and every time I see her play I get so shocked. Like, I forget that she's playing both parts. Yeah, it really feels like you're watching somebody else. It feels like you're watching somebody else. It doesn't feel like Namtan. And that's a compliment. Yeah. Because the way that she switches up her acting between Un and it's insane. Listen, like, her acting range is insane. Especially when you see them both together in the same shot. Because that's all editing. But still, it's just like, wow. Like, Namtan and honestly, they deserve a freaking award. Like, this is literally her. I mean, both of their acting, but Namtan, especially in this part 3 of episode 11, her freaking acting here is phenomenal. Like, literally actress of the year. Because, like we said, the fact that she can just switch from being, obviously, playing, like, I-un and then is insane to me. And, like, this scene in particular here, it just gives you, like, some, I don't know, the vibe is just, like, what you would really think of when you think of somebody that's kind of, like, unhinged. She says, yes, unhinged, and, basically fighting between, like, two opposing feelings. Oh, and you're essentially like, that's literally what it is. Like, her emotions here, her acting here, it's amazing. Literally, so good. Give her an Oscar, give her a Grammy, give her a Tony, give her an Emmy, give her all of the awards, plus all of the Thai awards too. Give her everything. Yes. Both of them. Give both of them all the awards. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Un shows up and she's like, what are you doing? And Is like, I could ask you the same thing. What are you doing? Like, you know I love May. Why are you with her? And it's just like, girl, you knew. I mean, yes, you lost your memories, but you knew from the beginning that May doesn't love you. And even Un says that May does not love you. And is like, right, because no one loves me. No one ever loves me. And Un's like,
And
that's
here we're
not
going
true.
back to this.
Yeah, she's like, that's not true. Grandma loves you. Why are you acting all crazy? Like, never call a crazy person crazy. You don't know what
no,
they're
because
gonna
that's going to make them even more crazier.
Never call a crazy person crazy.
No, you shouldn't.
And so...
And then, so after all
like,
that...
Yeah, almost like, you don't know. She's like, that's not true. You're like, you don't know anything, do you? And it's like, Un literally does not know anything. This whole entire series has been Un not knowing anything. So we get a flashback to when they were kids again. And Grandma gives that book. And so Grandma's telling her, like, make sure you study hard, okay? So you can take care of yourself just like I can. And Grandma was never concerned for you because she knew that you could survive. She's like, she was always harder on me because I was the one that was always sick and weak. Like, Grandma knew I wasn't going to be able to take care of myself. That's why she wanted me to study so hard. And it kind of makes sense in a way, you know, because when you're taking care of two kids and you know one of them is a little bit more street smart or a little bit more capable than the other.
Independent.
You're not going to focus on the independent child because why would you? You're going to put all your focus on the one that needs you.
Yep.
And so I think I said that in the very beginning too. Like I said, I think Grandma puts off her focus on because she was sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part, it was just like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I understand why feels the way she feels. But it doesn't make it.
But it doesn't justify her actions.
It doesn't justify her actions at all. But yeah, so she's saying that Grandma was never concerned for you. It was always me that I had to be stronger so I could keep up with you. Meanwhile, Un is like, yeah, but I always felt like you were the favorite because you got all the attention. It's like, see, this is what happens when you guys need to communicate.
They both feel inferior to one another.
Yeah, and they both feel unloved in different ways. But almost like, luckily for me, I found someone who loved me. And at first I thought she was talking about Paul. Nope, she was talking about May. Because it cuts back to...
Yeah, I thought she was talking about Paul too.
Yeah, because it cuts back to when May asked her to be her girlfriend.
Yep.
And was so happy. Like, I remember I said before that I didn't think that actually loved May. I was wrong.
She loves May.
Really loves May.
Loves
May. She did genuinely love May.
Yeah.
And she still continues to love May. It's just now she loves May because she can't have her, I feel like.
Yeah,
because she lost it to her sister. Because she feels inferior to her sister, and now she's lost something else to her sister.
Yep.
Ugh. But, yeah, she's like, I finally found someone that loved me. And then it turns out May loves you. So, yeah. Meanwhile, May's just standing there. May's not saying anything. She's just
what can you say?
Yeah.
You can't say anything.
You can't really say anything to that.
No, you can't.
So, it cuts to another flashback. They love the flashbacks. To overhearing Tone ask about May's condition and everything. And May, is talking to Jan, and she's like, I'm still angry at May, but I can't stand seeing her like this. Like, I don't want to see her suffering, but I'm still angry with her. Mm-hmm. And Jan is telling her that maybe you should go be with her, like, give her the courage to keep going on. And can't do that.
Nope, she's like, I can't because I don't want to be my sister's replacement.
Right. She's like, I don't want to be just a replacement for my sister. And it's like, that's the difference between you and I. When I cares, she shows it.
Yeah.
And she's there. Doesn't know how to do that.
She does it, and not only does she not know how to show it, and when she tries, she says she does it and shows it in the meanest way possible, which is where we get to the next scene, and it's the scene that we got in like a couple episodes back where is at the hospital with May just she finds out, or May finds out that she's blind, and then we have the same. We've talked about this, but basically saying like she wants May to be the mentee she once was because she is not going to have her sister be with somebody that is like useless essentially. And so the thing is, she has good intentions, and right, but she says it in the worst way possible because you're kind of like, how do you say that? You think you're saying that to somebody? You think it's gonna make them feel better? Like it's not gonna make them feel better. But yeah, then she also is telling May in the scene that, yeah, the person that you truly love is not me, it's my sister. And that's when May finds out about She's like, if you want to just break up with me, then like so be it. Just break up with me. Don't lie to me. Yeah. But you can see honestly that they're both equal. They're both equally as hurt, right? It's just that Uam is just a little bit better at hiding it because she has to. She's like she's hurt that she knows the truth about May not loving her sister, right? So now she's kind of playing like the role of like she is being a bitch, basically. Yeah.
And
essentially.
So we see, and so we see a little bit of Ohm's point of view, as like May starting to pull herself together, because we see that scene with May and Tona outside, like stalking Own, getting like a glimpse of Own, and we see May inside and she's watching it all, and she's like, I mean, she's like, it worked. Like May started to pull herself together and she started to live, and which is what her plan was, and so we see the scene after Om like talked to May outside the courthouse or her office or whatever, and she was being a bitch. And so we see Om outside crying, and we see Paul show up with a handkerchief, and he's trying to help her, like console her.
Yep.
And I don't know if they were dating at this point, or it was like right before they started dating. I think it was probably right before they started dating. But yeah, he
has
tries
good
to comfort
intentions.
her. He does. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. He's not a bad guy.
No, he doesn't.
He just loves,
no, not at all.
He loves someone who loves somebody else. That's his only fault, is that he's in love with someone who doesn't love him.
And that is a really big fault here, because like we'll talk about it when we get to that wedding scene, but it's a really big fault. But so essentially you have basically and Paul now, and now so basically where brought May is where Paul proposed to here. And you know, now May is essentially like telling, wait, did we have this? Did we already have this? Oh, okay, yeah. So, is basically telling May, it's your fault. It's your fault. You're the reason why I lost the only person that ever loved me, which was Paul. And it's not her fault. No, it's not.
And even May tells her that she's like, the only reason I called you that night is because you called me.
You called me.
Yeah, like I was returning your phone call like you asked me to. Like what?
Yes.
So my fault?
You see her exactly. So now you see her just breaking down, like she's literally like having, I don't know if it's like a manic.
I think it's a manic episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's being a little bit manic. And so now we have a flashback again. Like they love their flashbacks, and this is the night of the wedding. So it's Paul and at their wedding, and Paul gets an unknown phone call. And now we find out that the unknown phone call is from May. So he answers. And this is how you know he's a good guy, right? Because if it probably were anybody else, they would be like, oh, you got the wrong number or something. But he knows that it's on the phone. And he gives the phone to and so he gives the phone to and you hear, now you see and May talking. And basically, is basically like, I sent my sister over to break up with you. What she does with that, like the ball's in your court, right? But now, I don't care who you end up with because I want nothing to do with you. As she's like bawling her eyes out, like she's bawling her eyes out.
You can tell that she still cares, but she's doing this because she's married now. So she's like, well, I have to be done. So
yeah, like she has no choice.
But you can see Paul. He's kind of happy about to hear that, but at the same time he's not, because he can see her crying over it.
And here's the thing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, and here's the thing that didn't sit well with me. obviously we know Paul has been a great guy. He truly loves right? But he said something. I don't remember, what did he say? He said something, and hold on.
Oh, so okay. While you're thinking about that, May after that phone call, goes and picks up her phone, and she's like deleting stuff, and Paul's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm erasing everything that has to do with May." And he's like, "There's only one place you can't erase, and that's your heart." And that explains why when went through her phone to try and find out like more information about May when she was pretending to be why there's nothing on there. Because we were wondering too, like why, like if you guys were dating, how come there's nothing on your phone? This is why. Because she deleted
that makes sense.
all that night. Yeah. Because she deleted it all that night.
And also,
but Paul's just like, you can't erase it from your heart. Like you can't do that.
Yeah, and then he makes a comment basically saying, like, I used to be, like, sad when you were crying. Like, I would want to console you, but now, like, you're crying because you love someone else. But here's the thing why I didn't like, is that you married her, though, knowing that she was in love with somebody else. Like, do you think that getting married was going to change your feelings for May? Absolutely not. I don't know the time frame of how long essentially they never broke up. They essentially never broke up anyways, May and So
yeah, because she refused to break up with it.
Yes. So now
it wasn't the lack of trying on May's part. Yeah, May tried.
Yeah. So essentially here, I was like, Paul, you cannot literally put the blame on because you think you literally thought marrying her she was going to get over May. Absolutely not. Like, she's been crying over May this whole entire time you guys were together or were friends or whatever it was. So getting married is not going to change anything, right?
So Paul goes and leaves, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll be back." He's like, "I love you, so I'll always come back." He's like, "I can't go anywhere."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, Paul."
Yeah, he says my heart hurts so much. Like, he says his heart hurts so much he feels like he's dying. And I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, you knew though. Like, it's like, we get that you love we get it. Like, but it's also self-inflicted because, maybe there could have been a waiting period for her to heal.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe not rush to get married. I don't know how long y'all dated beforehand, but maybe not rush.
I mean, but clearly it wasn't enough, like, because, so then obviously now we have this scene.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, Paul goes and gets in the car. Follows him, and she's like, "I'm coming with you." And then we see the scene where he's like, "Why did you come?" She's like, "You've been drinking. I'm not gonna let you drive by yourself." And so they're going back and forth.
He's upset,
talking about the situation. He's upset
because called May on their wedding day.
Yeah, and it's like, you gave her the phone. Like, all you had to do was tell May, like, "Hey, can she call you another day? Like, can she call you later? Like, or just not answer the phone at all." And so then we see the car coming towards him, and Paul swerves and misses the car. But while he's swerving, the car flips. Yeah, so now we know why and how they got into the accident. And you were kind of right saying that it was May who called them. Because we didn't know at first that it was May who called. But so yeah, you were kind of right about who called. May didn't cause the accident like you thought, but yeah, you were right about her calling.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I don't think Paul's right. Out of all the guys who are love interests in geo dramas, Paul's probably my favorite because he didn't do
takes the cake.
Wrong. Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. He just loved the girl.
Yeah.
Who didn't love him back.
Yeah, he just loved a girl that loved somebody else, right? So yeah, basically. So now after that scene, we have crying, manic,
spiraling,
and basically spiraling. Blaming May for the whole thing. But then May is also like at her breaking point, and she basically is like, "Did you ever ask me what I wanted?"
Yeah, she's like, "I did all this to protect you. I was deceived too. Like, I became blind because of all this." And yeah, she's like, "How did you ever ask me what I wanted? Did either of you ever ask me who I loved?" And Una's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You need to forgive May and just start over." And
oh my gosh, she did not like that. She's like, "You're still taking," and then was like, "You're still taking her side after everything," and I was like, "Oh." Here we go. Here we go. That's all she needed to say because this is the beginning of the end.
Yeah. And May turns to Un and she's like, you rejected me because of
You
and
left me because of
You left me because of and you came back to me because of Nothing you've done in regards to me has been because of you. It's because of Which is true.
It is
true. It is true.
And then now we have basically saying, choose. You need to choose right now. If you choose May, you will never see me again. And if you choose me, you can never see May ever again.
I hated this
Oh, you can never
so
see
much.
me ever again. Yeah.
I hated this part so much.
Okay, so
yeah.
Here's the thing.
I hated that.
Here's the thing. Jazz and I were talking about this off camera, and I was saying that I hate the fact that gave On an ultimatum. You are telling your sister to choose between her sibling, her only sibling, and her girlfriend, her lover, the one that she loves. Right? So essentially, everything now has still been like because of Like it's basically centric at this point. Every single thing that has been dialed up has been still because of still controls this narrative, right? And so what pains me is that as I'm watching this, you literally see May just breaking down. I mean, they're both breaking down, but like one says, I've never not chosen you to and so at that moment I was like, we lost her. Like she is right. She is going to choose her sister. And essentially,
when I first saw this, I was like, please, please say that, but then turn around and walk back to May, and say, but I choose May. Like I've never not chosen you, but I choose May. I was praying that she would have done that. I was like, please choose May.
As soon as
you've always chosen your sister. Everything you've done your entire life has been for your sister. Do something for yourself for once. Pick May.
You have every right to be. As soon as gave that ultimatum, I knew she was going to pick
I did too.
Like,
because like our podcast says, it wouldn't be a drama if she didn't.
Yes, it wouldn't be a drama. Yeah, and is just so selfless. She's just so freaking selfless to the point where sometimes you're so annoyed of it because you're like, girl, choose yourself first. And you have who is super selfish. Right? And so obviously she chose she chose and I was telling Jazz this. I said, I have loved this series up until this point.
I still love the series. I'm pissed off at it right now, but I still love the series.
So, so what I mean is that, like, I don't hate the series. I still love the series. I just don't like this scene in particular.
Right.
I don't like the scene because you essentially have her sister giving her the ultimatum, and now okay, and then we go into sorry, I'm gonna talk about the preview for the next episode, which upsets me because now
we're not done yet. We still have a lot more that happened.
yeah
but you can go into the preview, that's fine. But
so I'm gonna go to the preview real quick. Right. So then, we obviously go into the preview for the next episode, and that upsets me. We can talk about that when we get to that point. But ultimately, I don't like how she gave her sister an ultimatum. It pissed me off. I think that I think she needs help. Obviously, we agreed that she needs therapy.
Yeah.
And in some ways, she's very manipulative. Clearly, she's a very big manipulator. She's using the fact that Un, how much Un loves her and cares for her, the sister card, on the fact that, like, if I can't have May, you can't have May either. And that's just crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
Like, for your own flesh and blood, your sibling, you would want them to be happy. And she's still being super selfish. Yeah, she's still being very, very selfish still.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
the ending of this episode is basically just I finds that book and is in bed with Grandma. Grandma's consoling her, like always.
Yeah.
And so I goes in and she shows her the book, and like, "Will you read it to me?" And blah blah blah. And she reads the book to her to help her relax, and then
they both end up falling asleep. Grandma.
Yeah, then I goes into her room and she just cries and cries and cries, and I'm like, "You did this to yourself, ma'am. You could have."
I literally thought the same thing. I said, "You know what? I'm sorry.
I don't feel bad for you right now.
I don't. I was like, I literally don't feel bad for you.
Not
right now. No, because this is self-inflicted. You had the choice between your sister and May, right? And you did this. But also, then now we can talk about the preview for the next episode. So basically, it seems like we have going to talk to May, basically asking May, like, "Oh, how have you been?" And she basically mentions Ayun, and like Ayun has never been truly happy. And you're kind of like, you do realize why she's not been truly happy after that incident, because of you. You had her choose between you or her lover. Clearly, she chose you. So, yeah. So,
but we do see May showing up at Ayun's book signing. So, maybe.
But you know what's going to...
Maybe.
But here's the thing. Is that, like, what will upset me is that, obviously, I do want a happy ending, but I will be kind of upset if it's the happy ending to where the sister... If now... Well, was like, you know what, I know you're not happy, truly. You chose me, but now I'm going to, like, set you free here. You can go and love May freely now. I feel like that's how it's going to be, but it should not have to be
They shouldn't have to suffer
permission.
so much. Yeah, they shouldn't have to suffer so much just for you to finally open your eyes and realize, you know what, I've been wrong in this. Maybe they should be together. No. But also, no.
I agree, and also Ayun should also open her eyes and, like, recognize that I don't care what my sister I don't care about what woman has to say, because truly I can be a good sister. I can love my sister, but also I can love my partner as well, right? But it's going to really upset me though, like, if that's the ending that we have, where woman's like we said, no, you can finally go be with her, because then essentially Om is just giving her permission, like, because she does everything. Every decision she makes is basically Om-centric. I mean, I don't know how else it's going to be. I really don't know.
I really don't know either.
I mean,
this episode made me numb. Like, after I watched this episode, I sent you that voice note with me almost crying in the background. And I just kind of sat on my couch, and I didn't know what to do after that. Like, I really didn't. I was so shocked and just numb. I could not do anything. I literally sat there for about 10 minutes, and I was just like, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to do. Like, this episode broke me. It broke me. I went 10 episodes without crying once in this series, no matter how emotional it got. And today is the day that it broke me. It broke me.
Which is, I'm the complete opposite. I've cried
basically all the episodes. Almost, yeah.
I've cried every single episode, and I did not cry this episode, and I think it's partially because I'm not feeling well, but also I think partially because here's the thing. I'm super empathetic.
Yeah, same.
I'm an empath, right? But I cannot empathize with the fact that gave her sister an ultimatum. I cannot empathize with that, and I cannot empathize with the fact that she chose her sister over May. Because in a sense, those feelings to me don't make any sense, and I just can't. And I think why you cried is because you've been keeping it in for so long, and it finally just kind of like this. It was kind of your breaking point, right?
Probably. Because I think I'm trying to remember the exact point where I started crying. I think it was, the whole Paul situation, because I felt bad for him. And then hearing May say, "I've never not chosen you," and then hearing Un say that to and then hearing May and seeing May on the ground just crying out Ai's name over and over and over again, and Un not even looking back once. And that oh my god, I'm so crying again. So I broke. I broke. I broke. It was the last two parts, mostly just part 3 mainly, was just a lot to take in, and there was a lot of emotion. There was so many tears 3 ways. Poor Namtan, man. Her migraine medication has to be the strongest medication on the planet, because she had to cry twice. She had to cry so many times. And I remember watching her behind the scenes too, I think episode 10. And her and May were crying again watching it back. And I was just saying, I need therapy. I was like, yeah, no, you do. You gotta go to therapy. You gotta work this out. Because you're playing two people who cry a lot.
A lot, yeah. But I also do want to give credit to film in this episode too. Well, especially in part 3, because her emotions here when she was calling Ai-un, oh my god, I'm sorry. If that was me, if I was in that position, she would not be on the floor crying. No,
I would have chosen her. Like, I love you.
Okay, so let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jazz and I were also talking about this off camera, and we were saying that if we were in that position, are you being selfish or are you being selfless? Like, what do you choose in that situation? And I told Jazz, I said, honestly, if one of my siblings gave me that ultimatum, that would be the end all be all for me, because you as my sibling, unless this person was not good for me, unless they were like physically, mentally, whatever, abusive,
emotionally abusive,
you should not be giving. Yes, you should not be giving me that ultimatum, telling me who I should and shouldn't love. Right. So essentially, if I was in this position, my sibling would only be giving me this ultimatum because then the person that we love don't want them, but instead they want me, right? And I'm like, that logically speaking, that doesn't make any sense to me, So, like, I would choose my lover in this situation.
I'm like, I love you. You are my sister, brother, whatever. You are my sibling. I love you, and I will always love you. That love is unconditional. But I can't choose you right now. Like, I am in love with this person. My love for this person is different than the love that I have for you. That doesn't mean I don't love you any less. It's just a different type of love.
Right.
And you need to, if you love me, you need to accept that.
Yeah.
And that I give him this ultimatum, I guess. But it's just like, I need to do what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can love both of you, because it's a different type of love. Like, just because I'm in love with this person who you used to date because of a fault of mine, because technically Un started this whole damn thing because she put on Un's uniform. But for once, I'm choosing something for me, not because you are telling me to do something or asking me to do something. I am choosing this woman because I love her.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry. And then when Tone showed up, I'm like, can you take my sister home so she doesn't do something stupid, please? Thank you. And then take May and leave.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just, oh my god.
I mean, so like, we're both on the same page. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I hope next episode.
Okay, let's talk about next episode. What would you like for it to happen?
And obviously I want May and I back together and happy. I hope we don't have an ending like in Blink. Where it's like, yeah, they're happy and then flash forward 20 years. Like, I don't want that. But
yeah, here's my thing. I don't like flashbacks like that, personally.
Or flash forwards, yeah. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
like, I also don't want that scene of them with May at the book signing to be the last
And then
scene that we see.
okay, and then it cuts off.
Yeah, I really hope that's not the case. Because I'd be so mad. But I would love to have some type of resolution from the three of them. I would like to apologize and give their blessing. It'd be kind of cool to see and Pim get together. Because they're both broken right now, so why not? At this point, why not? Let and Pim be together. Peng and Jan have each other. Pim is all by herself. Pim wants someone to love her too. So does Boom.
I agree.
Why not? So yeah, I just really hope that we have a really good ending, a happy ending for everyone involved, and I hope that book signing is not the very last scene. But what do you think? What do you want to happen? You want Look, you want Ling making an appearance.
Here's the thing.
Tell them, guys, communication is key.
Yeah,
you should watch our show. There's a lot of communication. No,
yeah. Here's the thing: is that if they were to meet, they're obviously gonna meet at the book signing, right? Does that happen before or after May talks to Because then essentially, I feel like regardless of what's going to happen, they will essentially have to have Om's blessing. Because how are they going to be together? Which is annoying to me, right?
Or Un just says fuck it and doesn't get her blessing. But
then why didn't you just say fuck it then?
I mean,
you decided to say fuck it.
Emotions were high. I know. I saw that eyeball. I know. I get it.
Well, regardless, I'm not going to be. I feel like I will be happy with the happy ending, but I don't think I'm going to be happy with the fact that they're going to have Om's blessing to be together. That's it. That's it for me. As for the freaking throuple what the hell is going on there? You know, Peng and Jan could go be happy. Pim, like we were saying, because I think you and I messaged about this, that we would love for Pim and Om to be together. That would be a freaking crazy. It would be so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, why not?
Yeah, at this point, why not? So, that would be that would make me really happy. I think that maybe if that were to happen at the end, maybe all can be forgiven. But at this point, I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I think for episode 12, which will be our last episode.
Yeah, when does episode 12 come out for us normal people who can't go to Thailand to see it live? Because I know it doesn't come out next week. Because I think they're doing like a live event and then it comes out on YouTube. Like,
it might be the week after, probably then.
Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of a break from Pluto, until we can watch it on YouTube whenever they release it on YouTube. So.
Yep. Yeah. So. Well, this episode was definitely a lot. Do you have any last thoughts, Jazz?
No final thoughts, really. Yeah.
No?
I mean,
okay.
This episode, like I said, this episode broke me.
This was the episode to break Jazz, guys. This was the one.
That's it.
But yeah, definitely let us know down below what you guys think of this episode. You know, we had a lot to say. We honestly had a lot to say about this episode. But yeah, let us know your thoughts down below, what you guys think about this episode, what you guys any predictions on next episode. Yeah, and if you guys enjoyed our reaction, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow our social medias as well. And we will see you guys in the next episode, which we said it probably will not be next week because they're doing the live event. So whenever they have that out, we will definitely let you guys know. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!
Bye.
คุณพี่พบคุณสา
คนที่ฉันรัก
คือไออุ่น